She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy gazpacho.
Important to take a lame gorilla, okay?
Right, did you know that Arsenal died?
He's got me buzzing.
Up the TOFFEEs. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm not even gonna comment on that.
Ooh, welcome back to another episode of Footy with the boys. A lot to talk about, some transfer deadline news, some checking in with the Gunners and Toffees after some big results as the screen would suggest. Stay humble, eh? We'll do some featured previews for not this next weekend, but the weekend or the week and then the weekend coming up. Get into the segs with the boys. 20 questions. Let us know if you can guess the person, the player, before the other co-host here. And then we'll get into the U.S. men's national team corner, as always, with some big news and some big questions to be asked with some of the updates happening there. Let's start with the big news. And in the transfer window, the Lakers have paid a fee of Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic from Real Madrid. So there's been some craziness in the NBA. There's some craziness happening in the football world as well, but Fabrizio Romano's got us covered on that, so we're not surprised. Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa. Villa's going for all of the, I wouldn't say failed, but in a slump, not high buyers of the old wonder kids. Marco Asensio also coming in there. Interesting one there. We'll talk a little bit more on that. Evan Ferguson goes to West Ham. Charney Chukwuemeka to Dortmund. Another midfielder added to the mix of Dortmund. Gio Reyna. Not ideal. Matisse Tell, after initially not wanting to go to Tottenham, ends up going there on a loan deal as well as Danso. And then Carlos Alcaraz. He's made the switch from tennis to football, and he is joining Everton Football Club. The number one rated tennis player in the world comes to Everton. David Moyes, you crazy bastard. It might just work. Carlos Alcaraz, actually from Flamengo in Brazil, an Argentine midfielder, played at Southampton, made his debut against Everton at Southampton. Maybe it's written in the stars. And then Nico Gonzalez going to City, paying the release fee of $60 million for him. They are throwing darts at the wall, just going crazy, trying to stop this fall from grace that we will talk about what happened in that Arsenal game. But Mike, what catches your eyes here? I mean, Rashford to Villa, and obviously with our team, Carlos Alcaraz coming in, Mangala out for the season, so needed some help in the midfield maybe.
Yeah, I think Alcaraz is a big signing for us. I don't know a whole lot about him, except the position he plays and his time here in Southampton. But we need reinforcements in the midfield, especially attacking options. This maybe allows Decore to play a little bit deeper if he's going to slide into the 10, which is great. We just need bodies. So many injuries right now. Other ones, I think Ferguson to West Ham's kind of crazy. They obviously had a big striker signing with Fulkrug this year. I was hoping to get Ferguson on loan. Got my hopes up a bit. Rashford to Villa's, I think, a pretty good move if they can get
taking all of them.
I mean, 40 million option to buy. That's pretty low. If he finds some form, 40 million is pretty reasonable for a player of his quality. And one you didn't mention, João Felix to AC Milan. That attack,
that was recent.
Deadly. So João Felix, Santi Jimenez, Julian Leao. That's quite the attacking four.
Nick, what caught your eye here? And just a quick note also for AC Milan, they loaned Noah Okafor to Napoli, of all places. The team at the top of the table. Interesting move within Serie A.
Indeed.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, how good is Okafor really? I know they signed him. He had some potential, but meh. I mean, he's just gonna be depth for Napoli.
Loaning an attacker to, I guess AC Milan's not really challenging for the title anymore.
Yeah. What do it sabotage maybe? Well,
just fuck over Inter.
We're gonna go just
maybe 3D test.
Yeah, I mean, Trace took all of them. I think Spurs do deserve some credit getting a couple of deals done, especially when it seemed like no one wanted to go there. So maybe that's Big Ange's pull. Maybe that's just them being desperate. And it's probably a combination of both. But he deserves some credit there. I like Tell a lot. I think he's good talent. Don't know too much about the Danzo guy outside of his FIFA rating, so not really going to speak on him. But they've needed a center back for sure. So yeah, good for them. You guys know me. I'm a big Evan Ferguson fan. This past year, I don't think it's played out the way I envisioned it or the way everyone envisioned it. Danny Welbeck seems to be like holding down the spot from him, which I mean, kudos to Welbeck. He's been great,
He's
but
been playing well, yeah.
yeah, he has for sure. But I mean, Ferguson, the talent that I believe he
Should
has
be able to break through.
is
Yeah,
surprising.
He was
Yeah,
talking
so
about like $100 million man last year. So yeah,
I like him a lot. His story I think is far from over. So hopefully he makes a splash at West Ham, and we'll see what happens there. But a lot of interesting ones, nothing too crazy if we're being honest. Outside of City, splashing 200 mil in January in the midst of 130 charges. That's insane. But everything else is, I would say, a pretty normal, pretty low key January transfer window.
Chelsea made some moves too. They loaned out like 6 dudes today.
Yeah, but
I mean, yeah, I think their
they have
squad
50
is just
players.
gigantic.
Yeah,
They probably need to
finally
get
making some moves is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think they're realizing they're settling into their squad. They had everybody. They had the football roster, the 53. They're realizing who they actually need. Which, when you have the money to do so, I mean, if you have that many options, you can kind of whittle it down, and then in the January window, start loaning them all out. But
it's also
crazy tactic. Crazy.
It is. Everyone knew, like, when they just signed Felix for no reason after missing out on the kid that went to Porto, like that was a horrible transfer.
True.
But like 5 months later, for him to be gone is pretty insane. So,
He's just
Chelsea
getting passed around right now.
Yeah, I mean, pause. Questionable transfer strategy as always.
He's one of those players that has the technical ability, has so much talent. Has he really ever shown it other than is it like an 18-year-old that got that gigantic move, which I still thought at the time was wildly overpriced? What was it, like 110 million for him?
Yeah, when he went to Athletic.
More than that.
Yeah.
Like
that was
120. It was crazy.
Absurd. And then at that point, you're going to Athletic. It's not really like you're going to be attacking Maestro, develop the game, so maybe that hurt him, but it just feels like from Chelsea to Atletico to AC Milan.
Also dealt with injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, it just hasn't clicked yet.
Really,
we'll see though.
Fit a system
maybe
that he's been at though. He didn't fit Simeone's system at Atleti.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit what Chelsea's doing. He didn't fit what Barcelona wanted out of him. He's just never found a home.
But is he really a player that fits into a lot of systems?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a weird player. He's like a second striker attacking mid, not super great on the wing.
Yeah. He's not the greatest at one position. He's like really talented and it's kind of just in between positions, but not amazing at one or the other.
He needs a really talented manager to have a really specific vision for his role. That's the only way he's going to get his career back on track. This jumping around shit, seeing what's going to stick, that it's not going to work out for him.
I mean,
unfortunately,
could somewhat be what Conceição has at AC Milan. He's one Portuguese, so they have a connection to explain the idea of exactly what he wants. But he does play with almost a second striker that it wants to be pressing up, but also is almost dropping in to be like a 10 at the same time. And that is a bit of what João Felix is. He's kind of tweener.
Yeah.
Maybe it fits.
I mean,
maybe it works out.
Listen, no disrespect to fucking João Felix and Milan, but can we get to the show? Let's talk about what happened this weekend, baby. let's go. I've been ready, brother. Like let's get it.
Did something happen this weekend?
Did it? I don't know, bro.
Let's see. Anything big happen or something like that?
It looks like Arsenal played City. Nick, what happened there? City, this gigantic team spending 200 million, all their new signings coming in. What the hell happened there? It was a minute in, Nick.
This is 5 fingers in my hand because they held 5 at the Emirates. Oh my God. I don't know if I've enjoyed an Arsenal win like that since, I don't know. I mean, every North London derby win is incredible, obviously, but 5-1 against the boogeyman. outside of that Champions League, our first reintroduction last year, and then our FA Cups from a couple years back, I haven't enjoyed a win like that in a long, long, long time. And let me tell you, there's been a lot of discourse about Arsenal this year. I myself have not been, I don't think, 100% bought in since, I don't know, week 3 when everything started going to shit. One thing that this game shows you that you can, like, a lot of people saying they don't have, they don't have it, this isn't the squad, yada yada. Whatever you think about the squad, okay. But these players, they deserve all the credit in the world because this team fucking believes in themselves. This is a squad that came out there and said we are good enough to. Yes, it's a city that has been not as great, but it's also a city that is literally Arsenal's boogeyman of the past 4 years at least. So it is an enormous win. I don't care what form they're in. You cannot downplay it. You can't tell me that City wasn't up for the game with the way they were flying into tackles. Bernardo Silva, little cheap fouls left and right. Haaland doing what he does against our back line, which, there's always a battle there. So it shows huge mentality from some of these players. And there's been a lot of players who've been shit on. Trossard, who has not had a great year, he showed up to this game. Martinelli, who's not had a great year, he showed up to this game. Missing our best player by far. If you say who's going to score goals in the front line, it's always Saka, and he's creating everything if he's not the one scoring. It shows huge mentality about this team. And when you look at the squad itself, like, yes, I'll talk more about this next week because I refuse to shit on Arsenal today, but there is a hole in the squad, specifically and the attacking options. That is true. When you look at the actual players, I can tell you Saliba, Odegaard, Saka, and Rice, those are for world-class players. And I don't care how you define world-class, but you can argue that they're the best player in the world at their position. You might not be correct on any of those 4, but you can put an argument out there at least. Okay? That is saying something. And then you surround those players with guys like Gabriel, Timber, Ben White, with guys like who else am I missing? Raya, who was amazing this game. I mean, that is 4 or 5 extra just really, really high level good players. They're not elite, but all of a sudden you have a really, really strong squad, and then you add in the kids. Because let me tell you, boys, these kids, Miles Lewis Skelly, I've been singing about Nwaneri all year. Man of the match performance, ran the game against City. The goal on his off foot is the cherry on top, but he was dominating the game before that. His confidence with the ball, his center of gravity while he's turning, while he's carrying. I mean, he is destined to play in the midfield, and he's just bossing it in the left back spot right now as an 18-year-old. And then the stones on the kid to do Haaland's celebration going up 3-1. Just at that point, there was no coming back.
Love the shithousery.
Fucking shit. I mean, what an amazing talent. Nwaneri comes in and shows why he's the most talented kid that England has right now. That curler, I mean, that is absolutely insane that he's able to pull that off. 10 minutes of game time is what he got, 15 tops, and he does that. I mean, it is a bright squad, and I'm telling you, we get one more attacker. This team is, I think, the favorite for the Prem and the favorite for Champions League. Like, this team is amazing. Yes, we'll talk about the transfer stuff, and I'll rather talk about it next week because, again, what a win. But even Havertz, who had maybe the worst miss I've ever seen in my life from like the penalty spot in an empty net, to have at least the medal to then come back and cut back and do a perfect FIFA finish into the side netting. Say whatever you want about any of these players. I don't give a shit what you say because these players believe in themselves and they believe in each other, and that is a big deal as we are coming down here to the stretch and towards the title race. Because guess what, boys? We are back. We are in this race for sure. You're telling me we're 6 points off of Liverpool? It's 1 week of bad games. That's 2 losses. I'm done saying that we are not in it because we proved that we can chase the team down. Last year we went 28 games unbeaten. You're saying we can't do a run like that again after we got all of our difficult away fixtures for the most part done in the first half of the season? I think we're still in it. I think this game proved a lot, and I think, yes, the goals are going to have to come from somewhere, but Saka's coming back soon, and I don't know. I believe in this team. They not only they win yesterday, but up 3-1. They didn't go get 2 more. That is a killer mentality. They were looking to embarrass that City side, and I mean they were taking out frustrations on them. It was absolutely. It was just drop your nuts on the table kind of game, and they outclassed him. It wasn't even close.
Boss.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like City has had demoralizing season. I mean, the results they've had and the runs they've had, horrible. But it almost felt like, to me, like I was like, oh, Man City for this game with the talent they have. I mean, their 11 has absurd amounts of talent in there, well more than they would need to compete with Arsenal. And it's been a rivalry, and they really, I mean, they got dominated. They got shit on here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got shit on. Is this more of a gut punch to City to lose to a rival this badly compared to just the other results that are like, oh man, we didn't get up for that one? If you can't get up for playing this type of a game, it's gone. It's completely gone. You can't get up for this game? You get fucking smashed 5-1? What's left there, Mike?
There's nothing left. This team has the same problems it had all season. They spent $200 million on a transfer window and don't identify any of the issues in their squad. Like, I don't believe it. You can't spend that much money, not buy a holding midfielder or a right back. They got Mateus Nunes running right back. God love the dude. He runs the entire match, joins the attack and covers, but he's not a right back. And the biggest issue all year is City in the transition. They got Mateo Kovacic running the deepest lying midfield. He's a ball-dominant midfielder who progresses the play through dribbling. And then anytime he loses the ball, they're getting ran at 4v3 because one of their fullbacks is so far up the pitch, and they don't have the back line to deal with the counter. I mean, Arsenal, how many times did we see 4 or 5 Arsenal players running at Akanji, Gvardiol, and John Stones? John Stones doesn't look like the player he used to be. Akanji is having a dip in form. And then Gvardiol's left to do it all by himself when he's being asked to join the attack as well. It's a fucking failure. They're setting themselves up for failure. I don't know how Pep's not addressed it. Tactically, they have it all wrong and didn't buy a player to identify their biggest hole. Credit to Arsenal for fully exploiting it. They put out a team, a roster, who's ready to run at City, bully them in the midfield. Shout out Thomas Partey. I don't know how you didn't give him a little bit more credit. I thought this is the best game he's played all season.
He's been playing well this season too.
Aggressive. Yeah, I mean, the one gripe we give about Thomas Partey, other than things not related to football, is that he doesn't progress the ball overly well, that he plays too negative, and that he's lost a touch. I mean, he was bossing, though. He was playing progressive play, found a great goal.
Good all year.
Credit to all the credit to Arsenal, all the credit to Mikel Arteta. They identified the weaknesses in City, and it really exposed them. But as much credit as you give to Arsenal, you got to look at City and say, what the fuck are you doing? You spent this much money in a window. These issues have not gone away all season. You've looked bad all season, even when you're winning games. How can you expect to come out here against Arsenal and compete with a team like this?
A couple really quick before we move on. A couple quick more shout outs because Mike's right. Partey, an amazing game. Declan Rice is the best pressing player in the world. He's amazing. And it's gotten I think his game has progressed at Arsenal, believe it or not. Even at the 8, he's looking as a better 8 now than he did last year. He's getting better, which is a scary thing. And then what I mentioned it really briefly earlier, David Raya. Holy shit. David Raya, 2 huge, massive saves in the first half. And in possession, it's like having Jorginho back there in goal. It's insane. The link up play that he does as the keeper is absolutely insane. Cool as a cucumber the entire game, and really amazing. To put a point on Trace's City massacre there, the guy with the most grit in their midfield yesterday was Bernardo Silva. He was the one covering and sticking in with a tackle.
Getting in.
At least he runs.
Which, credit to him, but that's a big issue if that's the guy who's the strength of your midfield in transition or defensively. So they have issues. I don't think they address it like Trace said. And we are back, baby. Gunners are all the way back. I'm all the way back. We are going for the title. It'll probably fall short, but we are going for the title. Let's run.
Going for the title. Arsenal is there, 6 points back. Liverpool do have a game. We'll talk about that in about 30 seconds. But Arsenal also does have a game against Liverpool coming up. So that is in their hands. 3 points to them, 0 to Arsenal. That's a 6-point switch if they're able to beat Liverpool there. Mike, let's talk about Liverpool. Going to the Merseyside with our Toffees. Their next game will be against that Liverpool side. But first, let's talk about this weekend. Everton, Leicester. Talking about shitting on teams. Everton also, from the first minute, early goals were a theme this weekend. Doucouré just continues to run. The ball just drops to him, and there we go. We're off 1-0 against Leicester, and that's really all we needed. But Beto with a brace. We were talking about how scary it was that Beto was our real only striker option. Goes in, bags a brace, and then Ndiaye just put the little cherry on top here to make it 4-0. I mean, we're a solid cut above relegation. It's 7 points to the next team underneath us, which is Wolves. We're much closer to be talking about passing up West Ham, Tottenham, who we did pass up for a brief second before they got finally another win. We're 3 points away from Manchester United. I mean,
Game in hand.
is it more of a talk of can we sneak into the mid-table or still relegation, you think, right now, of just make sure we're safe there?
I think the narrative now is sneaking into the mid-table. Can we climb a little bit? We're still going to be limited by our squad. Definitely the case. But Moyes is maximizing it as much as possible. Going to speak about Jake O'Brien again. I think him on the right back has been a revelation. He looks fantastic. He slots into the center on occasion when Branthwaite goes higher up the field, which looks really great. And then in the air, we're even more dominant when you have a big dude like that in the back. And I love it. I think the midfield looks great. Welcome back, James Garner. He bossed all game.
Crazy
distribution is
crosses in.
crucial. Yeah, I mean,
Amazing player.
He
What a player.
really is super talented. We missed him all year, so can't say anything bad about him. And then Tim Bunham back, small substitute cameo. It's going to be huge for depth reasons. Mangala went back to Lyon with his ACL-ish injury, so obviously can't rely on him this year. And then hustle play. I mean, Beto took his opportunity. He really is the only striker we have available on the team. Not being dramatic here, that's just the case. He is the only guy, and he scores 2 goals. And the first goal is particularly well taken. He gets played in, and he finds the back post, the side netting. Great finish. I thought Doucouré played well. And then Ndiaye, that's a fucking feisty goal there at the end. I mean, it's to make it 4, but he tackles 2 dudes, gets a deflection, and then finds a way to put it in the net. That's a dude who's hungry to score. That's a guy I want on my team. This is a super great performance. Pickford got an assist as well. Credit to him. I love it. I mean, Moyes has come in. He's done everything that we've expected, even more. 9 points out of a possible 12 in those 4 games. That's crazy. Some really, really solid wins. Defensively, we're looking as strong as ever, and then we're actually scoring goals, which is so cool to see. I hope Alcaraz is a good signing for us. We've been pretty fucking miss with January signings forever, really. I mean, it's hard to nail a January signing for any club.
Really hard, yeah.
We've been really poor at it, so I'm hoping this one turns out well. And if we could make me sneak one more before the window's over, that'd be great. But I think Moyes can do enough with this squad to achieve safety comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, Beto certainly helped all Everton fans feel a little bit more comfortable with the striker situation by scoring a brace. If he looked like shit, you don't really have anybody else to turn to. So certainly would have been in the January transfer window looking for something. I still think you got to have options. So you have to look for that. But Mike, I mean, like I said, we're looking closer to the middle of the table. I look at West Ham, Tottenham. Obviously, we already played them and beat them. Manchester United, Crystal Palace. Like, these aren't teams that I think are better than Everton at this point. Obviously, 3 games in a row winning. Gonna have some opinion on it, but that's David Moyes now with this team, with Beto, with DCL coming back, McNeil coming back. How far up the table do you think we can realistically go here down the stretch? I mean, look at the table, look at the point difference. Looking at 5 to Brentford in 11th. Can we reach that? Can we reach even top 10? That would be 8-point gap with Brighton. Where's the highest? Where's the ceiling for this season?
I don't want to get too carried away, but on recent form, we look better than a majority of those teams you've talked about. We certainly look better than Man U. Brighton just got 7-0'd. I'm trusting West Ham a bit more. I think Graham Potter is going to do a job there. Tottenham are so fucking banged up. Yeah, they made some good signings, but they lose to anybody. I think we could leap 2 or 3 teams. Man U don't look like they're going to do anything this season. They got handled by Crystal Palace this week. Crystal Palace without Eze in the starting lineup. I mean, that's fucking embarrassing. And they just lost Lisandro Martinez, who's probably been their best defender all year. So if we keep trending up the way we do, why not? Why not 12th place, 11th place, something like that?
Yeah, I think that's around it. If you can get 11th to 13th, man, if you told us like 5-6 weeks ago before Moyes came in that we were going to be talking about 11th to 13th at the end of the season, I mean, there's not a shot I'd believe.
I wouldn't have believed you.
No.
Nothing more than 15th, man.
I was like, brother, I'm looking for survival, and that was it. And that's all we were for so long. And now we have a comfortable gap we can start talking about.
And
how
that's
far
how it should be.
Go.
I mean, that's what the team deserves. The fans deserve. It is the last season at Goodison. That should mean something. Yeah. I think it'll certainly mean something next week when we play Liverpool. And no, it's not a fucking Premier League. It's not a title, but it's still a successful season. And it feels worthy of supporting.
Yeah. Let's get right on into exactly what you just said. Next week, Wednesday, against Liverpool at Goodison Park. Nick, I mean, for you, man, this could not have gone better for you in terms of Arsenal fandom. At the time that they were supposed to play, Everton were shit. Everton looked awful. We were losing every single game. We were honestly looking towards relegation and would be lucky if we didn't have it. David Moyes comes in. Everton are on a fucking heater right now. Like we just said, 3 wins in a row. Now we go into this Liverpool game. They are a buzzsaw. But as an Arsenal fan, how much hope do you have that Everton pull out a result here for you guys?
Decent amount. No, I mean, by no means are like should the odds be over 50% that they get a result. But if you tell me 40 that Everton, get a point from this game, I think that's perfectly reasonable, and I think that's perfectly doable. I listen, Liverpool started the season incredibly well. I think they've dropped since then. The only issue with that drop is they still have Mo Salah, the best player in the world. And so, he's going to win them games more often than not, especially because their drop hasn't been like they've been playing bad. It's just they've not been elite anymore, in my opinion. That's my opinion. So, that's always a problem. But Merseyside Derby, the last one at Goodison, you're telling me this is like a spot that Liverpool's just guaranteed 3 points? I think you're insane if you think that. Everton has been an amazing form, as you guys are saying. Like, this season's a success. If you come out of the season not relegated and with David Moyes, that season's a success at this point. I mean, that is, and he's done an amazing job there in 3-4 weeks, and a lot more investment to come in the summer, it seems like. So, I mean, things are looking up at Everton. There's a great vibe in the club. The fans are going to be backing them, even if they were still shit. It was going to be an electric atmosphere. But you're telling me after 3 wins on the bounce, that place isn't going to be rocking? I mean, it's going to be a tough play. I mean, we've seen far worse Everton sides get a point out of a Liverpool side. So I'm not.
Shit, we won our last game against them last season, and we were awful.
Yeah.
awful. And so, I mean, you have legit difference maker in Ndiaye. You have legit hard workers. I think currently my favorite
hard workers.
I think currently my favorite, Garner, has an amazing delivery. You tell me you can't put in a ball to 6'8" Beto? Like, come on. And by the way, now my favorite story in the league. There's no one I'm rooting for any more than that guy. He got absolutely shit on for a year and a half, never stopped working, always put the effort in. The skill obviously isn't there. He told us that in his intro press conference, by the way. He told us he was shit. So I don't know why we complain. But now he's scoring goals. He's putting in the effort, and finally he's getting some bounces. And it's because the team is just set up better and playing better. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting a win. I'm half expecting a draw, and nothing would surprise me at this point. So it's going to be a huge game for Liverpool. It's going to be a huge game for Everton. But this game means 10 times more for Everton than it does for Liverpool, as you see that beautiful jersey there. And I feel good. I feel good. I'm backing the boys. I think you guys get something here.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, it's one thing to say Liverpool, Everton, Merseyside derby. It means a lot to both sides. You could say, oh, Everton's 16th place. They don't have that much to fight for. But as we say, this is at Goodison Park, the last year of Goodison Park, the last game in the Premier League against Liverpool at Goodison Park, Mike. What needs to happen here for Everton? Moyes and the boys going up against Schlott and that buzzsaw that just took care of Bournemouth and that wagon that was going up the table.
We need to be alert, aggressive, compact in the midfield, and really just limit their chances. I think we're going to play them well. We always do. Aggressively. I mean, physically, we can compete with these guys. We know we can. I have no worries about the back line or Pickford. I think going forward, we're just going to have a few chances, need to capitalize on them if we're going to score a goal. Yeah, man, I can't say too much more than that. I think boys will have them ready to go. They know the gravity of it. They know what it means. Liverpool at the same time, they'll be playing for it all as well. They know they have that loss in the back of their minds from last season for sure. They know they can't afford to let this point advantage slip with Arsenal hot on their heels or starting to get there. So everything to play for on both sides. If I had to give an edge on mentality, I give it to us. But it's going to be a dogfight.
I view it the complete opposite. I think this is Everton's final. That, like, you win this game and you don't get relegated. Like, who cares what happens the rest of the season? Am I wrong? Like, I mean, this is their final. Liverpool have a comfortable lead and
the
a
biggest game we'll play all year.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is their final. Liverpool have a lot more. And middle of the week too. Like, you're telling me Liverpool isn't looking ahead.
I know that is a crime. A crime to put this.
I think they'll be locked in.
Wednesday.
I mean, they had to.
This is crazy. A midweek game for the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. The chance to potentially for 2 years in a row throw some daggers at Liverpool's title chances. I mean, obviously last season was a bit more conclusive, but this season, if we can cut that gap to 3 points or help cut it to 3 points and leave that door open for Arsenal to come in, for Saka to get healthy and for them to make a run against them. God, that would be a hell of a last season in Goodison Park.
With the boys team up, baby. Let's go.
Let's ride. Valentine. Let's fucking ride, baby.
That would be something else. Something else indeed. Boys, it is now time for a very nice Footy with the Boys, Segs with the Boys, 20 questions game. The rules are simple. I am thinking of a player. Mike and Nick will have 20 questions to guess who that player is. If they do not get it, I get 2 points on our Lock of the Week contest. If they do get it, they both get 1 point. Mike or Nick, who would like to start with the questions?
I'll go. Is he American?
I was going to ask that.
No. I knew that'd be too easy. But I was thinking of Jonathan Amon for a second, and I was like, I gotta go guts.
Oh man.
Jonathan Amon. I don't think I've ever actually seen him play.
Yeah, what the fuck? Does he play the Premier League?
He does not, no.
All right, let's go positions now. Is he a forward?
He is a attacker, yes.
It's like a 10, 11, some sort of hybrid guy. Got it. Mike?
Is he younger than 25?
No.
Okay. Did he make a name for himself in the Premier League?
Yes. That is 5 questions.
Got it.
Okay.
I'll alert you every 5.
Himself in the Premier League, older attacker. Is he European nationality?
No.
Okay. Is he European nationality? No. Okay, is he African?
He is, yes.
Okay.
African attacking player made themselves in the Premier League older. Oh, I think I know who it is. Does he currently play in the MLS?
No.
Never mind. There goes that theory.
Who are you thinking?
Zaha.
Oh, he plays in the Prem.
He just went to Charlotte FC now.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Him and
Okay.
Patrick Ajiman. Dynamic duo.
Yeah. Nasty. Was he the team that he made a name for himself with? Was it City?
No.
Man City? No. Oh wait, they have to be active. I'm a fucking idiot.
Detective. Yeah, who the fuck were you thinking about?
It's like a Yaya.
Do they currently play in Europe?
No.
Where does Alba play right now?
Alba plays in Saudi.
Okay. Oh, is it did he make a wait? There's gonna be 10, right? Did he make a name for himself at Liverpool?
10. That is 10. He did not. No.
Mane.
I thought it was Sadio Mane. So not Liverpool, not City. Okay.
I think we're asking shit questions.
We are asking some shit questions.
I'm very worried. If you ask specific questions, it's gonna be, I feel like, rather easy.
We just have to get the club, Trace. No.
Yeah. Did he play for a London club?
Yes.
Narrowed it down.
So Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham.
Yeah. Chelsea. He's not still playing. He's retired. All right, let's get more specific then. Did he make a name for himself at Chelsea?
No.
African attackers. Oh, Nicolas Pepe was at Arsenal. But he's probably a bit older than 25. Yeah, so it could be him. I don't know where he plays currently.
I don't think he'd pick an Arsenal guy though.
Yeah. You never know with Flags. West Ham.
Weird.
Flags is a cheeky bugger.
Cheeky bugger. It's not Mahrez because it wasn't City, right? Drogba's retired, right? Just to be 100% clear, he's not playing in some fucking 4th division.
Yes, he's
what was the last question you asked, Nick? Did he make his name at
Chelsea? Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
So not Drogba.
Right. Is he an Arsenal player? Former Arsenal player?
No. That's 14 questions.
Who are we missing from
6
West
more.
Ham? I feel like there's a
6
big
more.
African from West Ham that we're missing. You know what I mean? There's someone, right?
Thinking.
It's not. Payet's French, right? He's not African. Right?
Who? Payet?
Dimitri Payet? Yeah.
Yeah, French.
He's French. No to Arsenal. Who's a fucking who's a Tottenham guy?
Maybe Tottenham.
Yeah, who's a Tottenham guy? Choupo-Moting? Did he play for Tottenham?
I don't think so.
God, they're
Come on,
roasting
guys.
us in
We
the
gotta
comments.
get going.
They're roasting us in the comments.
I know they better be roasting us.
Comments, if you know it.
Isn't it
They
your question?
do know it, bro. Oh, is it my question?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, my bad. Okay. What number are we at, Flags?
You're at 14.
15.
This will be your 15th.
Okay. Did he play for Tottenham? Was that like the club he made a name for himself?
No.
Okay.
5 questions left, boy. 5 questions
Palace,
left.
West Ham, Brentford.
Could be Palace. Could be Yannick Bolasie.
Oh yeah, that's a flags pick. That's a flags pick right there.
Is it Yannick Bolasie?
It is Yannick Bolasie.
Yeah, I was like, just ask him, bro. I think it's that's a fun one. That's a
I
fun
tell
one.
you
Where's he
what,
playing?
Yannick Bolasie.
Bro,
I
fucking
thought of Bolasie like
he
a
is-
couple questions ago because I thought he was gonna go.
Mike
on
said
Everton.
that name.
Cruzeiro.
Mike said that name, and Flags' face fucking went
Smirk.
stonewall, bro.
I knew it. I knew it the second he said that. I was like, okay, yeah. He's playing in the Brazilian league for Cruzeiro.
He is. Wow, good for him.
How do you spell his name?
All
Yes,
time.
yeah.
All-time
Uh,
signing for Everton.
Yeah,
the
he's
player.
sucked.
Yannick
Never
So
Bolasie.
bad for us.
Yeah. I mean,
Y
the
A N
training
N
clips that
I.
that guy had, he's my type of player. The crazy amount of stupid flair that he would do.
5-star
Did he take
skill,
on-
no end product, dude.
Yeah. The Bolasie flick. He has skills.
Didn't he
named after
take
him,
on
man.
didn't he take on like all of Palace's women's team or something and just like walk through them?
Yeah.
Like,
Allegedly.
He did
that
that
was
in
an
just like
elite clip.
normal trainings too, though. Just the clips from training he has. The end product was there in small sided in training. The end product in games, not as much.
Very hit or miss.
Hey, am I
what a
crazy? Is
player.
there a West Ham African guy? Who am I thinking of?
Kudus?
Nothing came to mind. But
Yeah, I can't say I know West Ham lore too much, but that is a point for Mike and a point for Nick in the lock of the week competition. So far, every player has been guessed here.
We're gonna have to do harder next round.
Alvaro
I'm real
Negredo, Keylor
defensive.
Navas, and Yannick Bolasie. I want all
That's
three
a
of them.
trio. That's a
That is a
trio.
hell of a trio. You know what I want to do? I wanted so bad to do Hatem Ben Arfa, but he retired
Oh,
like 2 years ago, and I was like,
Oh,
"Fuck,
man. Yeah, dude,
I was
he's
like, that's a real
professional.
streets never forget type guy."
I think he's a professional like squash player now or something.
Damn.
It's
All
like some
right.
sort of racket sport. Yeah.
I think next one we do we can do retired players, but like if we pick someone that people don't know, then they get like double the points or something. You know,
Okay.
All right.
I think that'd be fun.
I'm down to
So
include
that
some
is
retired
1
players.
point for Mike, 1 point for Nick. They go up to 13 each. And then
Wait.
I am up at 12. Palmer, are these scores updated to reflect a certain somebody getting a perfect score here?
They certainly are.
Oh,
They
yes, sir.
certainly are. Nick with a clutch 2-1 West Ham prediction to get this I'm gonna say three person competition. More have to be careful wording there. A lot closer here, getting it tied up at the top with Mike and Nick, and I am just 1 point behind. So we are going to be battling out down the stretch. Now we don't have games this
You
week.
guys-
We have to wait another week for another
You guys
episode.
kind of
our
suck at this,
predictions.
by the way.
Hey, you shut the
Uh,
fuck up.
Second
I just-
correct
I just
prediction of
hit
the
one.
year.
I'm 1 for 1 in
recent-
my last one.
Recency bias. Us as a
Jeez.
trio have gotten one right every week for the last week. So I don't want to hear it. We're doing awfully well, but
Also,
I
that
mean-
red on week 8 is messed up. We didn't get it wrong. We just didn't pick. You gotta get rid of that.
That's true.
And
That's
week
true,
12.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Let me,
There's more red there than you
Yeah.
think. That's not
That's true. That's
put it
true.
as green. Put it as green. Why don't you?
green.
I'll
Yeah.
put it as purple.
That works. That
Yeah.
works. Move to the U.S. men's national team corner as soon as he's done messing with this colors here.
I like
I mean,
colors.
this
Oh,
guy.
I think I fucked up the colors.
Wrong
Well,
shade. Listen, that's not important. Go to the picture of Mr.
Yeah, brother.
Chris Richards. Please. Find Chris
I
Richards.
can't fucking find him, dude. There
Why
he
is
is.
Find
Adesanya
him,
on
there
there?
he is.
Hey, that's Chris Richards.
All right. We got Chris Richards, U.S. men's national team corner starts right now with Chris Richards, who absolutely pocketed the future of Argentina in their game against Manchester United. Chris Richards, masterclass. He's had not maybe the most stellar season so far for Crystal Palace. Has certainly had his fair share of moments he'd want back. But boy, oh boy, in this game, he was just locking people down left and right. making you feel good about the center back position, at least with one of them there. Going to other center backs for the U.S., we had Mark McKenzie getting his first goal for Toulouse, and Nokai Banks getting another start for Augsburg. January window, we talked a lot about with a lot of the European transfers. We go to Jack McGlynn not being transferred to Europe. He had a $2 million offer from Italy on some from the championship, but the Philadelphia Union transferred him to Houston Dynamo. It's a $2 million transfer here. And because MLS is MLS and wants to do stupid shit all the time, because Jack McGlynn was in the zoning rights of New York, NYCFC and New York Red Bulls got 20% each of that. So Philadelphia Union only gets 60% of that sale for the stupid discovery rights thing, but he goes to Houston, not Europe. A little bit disappointing there for the development of him, especially since there were offers to go to Italy. You would have preferred to see that. Caleb Wiley also headed out to Watford on loan, and Taylor Booth going over to Twente in the Eredivisie. Speaking of the Eredivisie, Ricardo Pepi, the leading scorer for PSV, the current league leaders, is out for what looks like the rest of the season after having a knee injury that required surgery. He posted the surgery. It went well. He is back in Los Angeles to rehab. Nick, this means that Florian Balogun and Ricardo Pepi are both out for Nations League in March. Now, Josh Sargent has got three goals in the last 2 games as in his return from injury. Who knows if he's going to be healthy? I mean, it's Josh Sargent. He has had a lot of injury issues. But is it Josh Sargent and then Patrick Agyemang? I don't. Who is the depth chart for the strikers right now with both Balogun and Pepi out, Nick?
What happened to Haji?
He's injured.
Oh, okay. Great.
There's a theme here.
This team's an absolute joke at the number 9 position. Listen, if there was ever an opportunity for Josh Sargent, it is now. This man, I am done buying into the hype of him because, again, best abilities availability, and he has not been that. But this is, I think he was officially passed within the past 6 months of like, you're no longer contending to be the starting 9. You're contending to maybe make a camp. You know what I mean? So this is his opportunity to get back in that 3-headed race. I've always liked the profile, so I hope he takes it. But I mean, we're a year away, boys, and we got some real issues at the 9. Like some real issues at the 9 that does not inspire much confidence. So whoever this guy is that scored a couple in this last camp, come on down, buddy. you're about to get a game in the Nations League. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, they say, you only get one shot to really make your mark on the national team. Josh Sargent has had 12 shots, through injury and through everything. He just keeps getting them. And it's not that he's a bad player, but holy shit. Pepi and Balogun both ahead of him. Haji Wright was probably ahead of him. They're all out injured. Josh Sargent gets another shot at it. I mean, his luck
when's the Nations League?
Is pretty impressive. It's in March. So about a month away here.
Oh. Footy with the Boys live stream?
Oh, yeah. Does this open the door for Jesus Ferreira? Jesus Ferreira comeback tour?
Brandon Vasquez. I like Vasquez.
Ferreira Brandon Vasquez may
Superman.
Be an actual shout.
Jordan Pifak?
Jordan Morris?
Pifak just made a move, I believe. Don't know exactly where, but
he was in Bundesliga. Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, what are those guys from last camp who scored some goals? Or maybe
David Sullivan?
To Stade de Rennes is where Jordan Pifak just went. Okay. Good God. We're maybe going a little too far on that one, but striker position will certainly be something Pochettino has to figure out, and it may just be kind of the only option is Josh Sargent, and then Patrick Agyemang might be
Gio False 9?
Hey,
Gio False 9.
Hey, come on.
Gio False 9.
I'm not against it.
Gio
I'm not against it.
Tim Weah,
That again?
Malik
striker.
false nine?
Tim
No,
Weah has
not Tim Weah.
been.
Malik false
He's
nine.
played striker for Juventus. He's also played right back though. So let's
And left back and right wing
Yeah.
and left bench.
I hear,
dude, he plays it all.
dude. I actually heard he has some keeper gloves in his locker just in case. He's
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean he plays any position and has played them relatively well for them. Speaking of playing, not speaking of playing relatively well, speaking of playing historically good, Jedi Robinson this weekend in Fulham's win against Newcastle, a surging Newcastle 2-1 win there. And because Jedi Robinson got an assist in that game, he is now up to 10 assists as a left back, which is second in the league, only behind a certain Mohamed Salah, who certainly does not play left back. He is tied with Saka. I mean, the people he is up there with is ridiculous. And once again, he is playing left back. The season record for an outside back in assists is Trent Alexander-Arnold with 13. He is 3 assists away from the all-time Premier League record for assist from a fullback. I mean, that is ridiculous. Pulisic is obviously doing historic things in Milan and is more important for the team, but I mean, is this arguably the highest level we've ever seen a USMNT team player play at? I don't think it'd be very hard to make the argument he's the best left back in the world at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I think so. And it's only right.
Okay.
Understudy to Leighton Baines came through the academy during one of the greatest tenures of
Yeah.
left back ever in the Premier League, and a dude who was getting assists left and right. I mean, there's a connection here. He should come back home if he really wants to do something with his career. But yeah, best left back in the world, I think, by a little margin right now. I mean, it's not a super strong position. There are definitely some names who are worthy in contention, but Jedi is having a fucking season, man.
In terms of performance and results, I mean, what do you say, Nick? Tio Hernandez and Alphonso Davies are the other
Just to
they're not
name
at that
two.
All
Listen,
this
he's had an
at
amazing.
Barca.
He's had an amazing year. Let's just calm down on best fullback in the world, but I would say
Best
easily
left
top
back?
10.
Who do you have
Yeah, I think
above
that-
him as left back?
I mean, the two guys you just said. What's the name of the PSG kid? He's amazing.
Nuno Mendes.
Nuno Mendes is amazing. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the list. I'm not locked into left backs around the world, but
DeMarco.
top 10 easy. I'd have to take a look at the list. I can't tell you I watch much Inter Milan, so top 10 in the world easy. Top 5 I could think is a good argument. Best in the world might be a little far fetched, but an amazing season.
Maybe
and
not on talent, but
hey,
on form right now, I would say so.
Sure, yeah, sure. Great player, amazing player. Very lucky that he's American.
Yeah, and getting Serginho Dest back here potentially for Nations League in March, we could have. What the fuck is that? Why do you have a referee kit for the EFL Cup?
Yellow card to Nick for fucking hating on American players, dude. Bullshit.
This
Yellow
guy,
card. You are suspended for next pod.
this guy looks like Lance Armstrong, bro.
This is my best David Coote impression.
What is he doing?
Where did you get that? Why do you have that?
I found it.
Palmer, play the closing music. We got it.
Get us out of here, Palmer, please.
Oh, Grimaldo.
What is going
Grimaldo.
on?
I'm looking at the list.
Grimaldo,
My
dude.
God.
Grimaldo's barely a left back.
Alaba?
Subscribe, like. Subconscious.
Yellow card.
Leave a comment.
Bullshit.
Peace.
Bosh.